cook.
Did I tell you
like,
that
noodles.
my septum fell out for the first time today?
You did tell me.
It was terrifying.
Oh wait, let me make sure this is not silent.
Yeah, I was going
that
off at one
would be a
point.
good idea. Hi, my name's Natalie. I'm 19 years old. I'm currently studying digital media at Coventry University, although I was born and raised in London, and I am of Caribbean descent. My grandparents on both sides are from Jamaica.
Hi, I'm Jacob. I'm 19 years old. I'm a student studying in Coventry University, first year sociology. I'm originally from Taunton, Somerset. I identify as pansexual and my gender is non-binary.
I identify as bisexual and my gender is female. So I knew I was bisexual when I was about 13 years old. It wasn't like a turning point moment for me or like a sudden realization. It was just kind of always was, I think, but because as I grew up I realized that heterosexuality wasn't the default, and it just made sense to me.
I've come out as quite a lot of things. So when I was 14 I first came out as bisexual, but then I realised that I wasn't because it was because I was with a girl at the time, so then I realised I was gay. But then later on I realised, oh, I don't just like men, I like a lot more than that, and then I was like, oh, pansexual seems right. So it's been more of a journey for me than just understanding it. Like I've pretty much known my whole life, I've just ignored it.
So I came out to my mum about 2 months ago, and initially the reaction was just, okay, cool. And then after a while it kind of went through different things, from confusion, not so much anger, but just, she wasn't too happy with it. But now we're at a point where my mum gets me, and she's just more glad that I'm able to be myself than anything, which is great. I decided to come out to her because since coming to uni I've met so many queer people and made so many queer friends, and it just felt wrong hiding such a big part of my identity from her. Are you out to your parents?
Yeah. I only really ever came out as bisexual to my dad. Not to my dad, to my mum. And that was really the only time I ever came out to any family member. Otherwise it was just my mum would tell everybody else. I didn't tell my dad or my grandparents, who were the important ones to tell. But then I never really had to come out as gay. It was just something that kind of happened, and I never had to come out as pansexual because it was kind of more I had to let my mum understand what pansexuality was more than have to come out to her. Really, it was only ever my mum that I worried about. And when I came out as bisexual I was super worried about it, but then it was fine. She knew for years anyway.
So how would you go about asking what someone's gender identity is?
I guess just asking pronouns helps, because that can give kind of an indication to how somebody identifies. Because if I asked you, you'd say that your pronouns were
she. Yeah.
And that makes sense. That's oh, this person's probably female. And if you were to ask me what my pronouns were and I said they them, you'd be okay, this person either just uses they them and are cis, or they're non-binary.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I agree. I think pronouns are a good way to start. But I think the important thing, more than knowing or understanding someone's gender, is just knowing what they want to be called, and respecting that, because gender is so broad and on such a wide spectrum, and I think there are so many different combinations of gender and pronouns, and yeah, I think you're not always going to get a clear indication of what someone's gender is by their pronouns, but like I said, as long as you respect them, that's all that matters, really. So I haven't personally been subject to any homophobia that's been targeted directly at me, but I have witnessed a lot of casual homophobia, so people using the word gay to mean disgusting or bad, And also, if there are any like LGBT celebrities prominent in the media, like in college, I'd hear a lot of abuse kind of targeted at them. So for example, like Caitlyn Jenner, and stuff like that. You know, a lot of negative things were said about her. But personally, I haven't witnessed any homophobia, and that might be because I just haven't been out for that long. Well, it's not. I feel like it's not that I wasn't out, but it's that people just assume I'm straight. And so, yeah, people didn't really have any reason to target me with anything like that.
I experienced a lot of homophobia just because I'm like very obviously queer, and like I don't have that like straight passing privilege where I can like look normal, but instead it's just like gay, and everybody just assumes I'm gay. Especially where I grew up, I had a lot of homophobia. Like being from like a small town in Somerset, it was like very small-minded people who didn't like see anything other than white straight men and white straight girls. Ugh. And like I had one person in my secondary school who said that if he didn't find me funny, he'd cover me in gasoline and set me on fire. Yeah, real fun stuff. And that was just like a small snippet or something. That we also had like, I called him the town hate speaker, but he was like a preacher, and he came up to me and my partner at the time and like handed us a leaflet that said what comes after pride is in like going to hell and burning.
Wow.
So yeah, but my partner at the time was Christian, so like he went off on him and it was like in public, everybody's seeing us. It was real fun. Yeah. I've also had like kind of just like, you know, that like sneaky homophobia?
Yeah.
Where it's like, it's not homophobic because I'm just stating a fact. Where it's like my dad being like, just like being disgusted by it.
Yeah,
and
I get
like
that.
the idea of me being with another guy and just like shuddering.
Yeah, I used to get that from my mum, although
Yeah.
now she knows it really upsets me, so she like has tried her best to not do that anymore. But yeah, I totally get that. Yeah. And also, do you remember when we were, I think we were walking past like Falafel Corner? I think we came out of Falafel Corner.
I do remember this.
You...
And somebody shouted Batty Boy at me, and I'd never been called Batty Boy before.
Yeah,
and it was just so funny.
We laugh at this because I think we're quite strong in that.
Yeah, well, I
try not to let it get to us.
I like
but
calling myself like faggot and stuff, so it's like I can deal with people shouting that at me because I like that title about myself. But that's not saying that it's like a good thing, that's just me reclaiming it.
Yeah, I think there's a difference in you kind of reclaiming a label and other people using it to
Exactly.
You know, say something negative, because when you call yourself a faggot, you're kind of saying it proudly, like it's not something you're ashamed of.
Well, yeah, because it's like a part of my identity. Like,
yeah.
I wouldn't say the N-word because I'm not black.
Yeah.
You can if you want to.
Yeah,
because you are.
Yeah, I think it depends where it's coming from, and the intent, rather than the word itself, maybe. So what were you gonna say about the skirt?
So the guy who told me that he wanted to cover me in gasoline burn me, on our last day of school, I wore a skirt, and because I was like that one gay kid from my school who was like very obviously gay, and like it was impossible for them to hide it, and I wore the skirt, and he came up to me and said, "You've got balls for doing that," and I just thought that was really fucking funny at the time, because it was just like, thanks, and I just wanted him to fuck off because I still hated him so much.
Oh god.
I would say like get a lot of shit for like, because I don't wear clothing that's like made for somebody who's assigned male at birth. So like I've had a lot of shit for like wearing dresses and skirts about and like heels and shit, but like do you know what I mean?
I think it's really weird how it's okay for like assigned female people to wear trousers and
like suits,
shorts and
shit.
suits, yeah, and it's fine. But as soon as an assigned male person wears like a skirt, it's like, it's like, what are you doing? But I actually think that possibly has roots in sexism, because it's okay for a woman to want to aspire to be like a man and to wear a suit and trousers, because being a man is like strong and power. But if a man wants to wear a skirt and sort of look more feminine, it's like, why would you do that? You're making yourself weak.
It's like a
and you know, things like that.
Patriarchal power shift.
Yeah.
In which you're kind of like giving up your power that you hold as a man.
Yeah.
To somebody who's in the patriarchal sense beneath you, which is a woman.
Yeah, and it's really fucked up, because it's like,
it's real fucked up.
It's like women aren't any less than men, and we say that all the time, but then there's still this like.
It's why people find it like comedic as well.
Yeah.
Where it's like, haha, a man's wearing a dress.
Yeah, like in pantomime and stuff.
Yeah, or like you know, Little Britain.
Yeah.
I really hate that show. It's like they do that all the time.
Yeah. It's like, it's funny for some reason.
For some reason.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So, do you think you'll ever have kids one day?
No. No.
That was very instant. No.
Yeah, I thought about it a lot.
Okay.
So like with previous partners, I've been like, yeah, I guess that would be fun. But like, the more I think about it, it's like, I don't want to give in to the heteronormative aspects of society and like have a kid. It's like kind of a political choice almost to like go against that idea of you have to grow up and have children. Because I don't want to start a family. I'm like already fulfilled with how I'm living. Although I'm like only 19, so maybe I don't know. I don't want children, but like also, I'm a polyamorous person, so I can date multiple people at the same time, and that just, if I had a kid, that wouldn't really work out, I guess.
Yeah.
Because it would have to be something where I'd have to kind of like settle down.
Yeah.
And it would be, the dynamic of it all just wouldn't work. What about you?
I think I want kids, yeah. It's not something that I like really, really want. You know, like some people are like, I'm gonna have kids and I'm gonna have this many kids and they've got names sorted out and like everything.
Oh, no.
But like, I think it would be nice, but at the same time I won't be devastated if it doesn't happen. Yeah, I'm not too bothered about it, but it would be nice.
Just like kind of an idea, really.
Yeah. I think a lot of people kind of wonder, as a queer person, how that might work out.
Yeah.
But honestly, as we said earlier, like, bisexuality exists, so I may be with someone that I can have my own children with anyway.
Yeah.
In which case, it won't be difficult. But if I'm with someone who I can't have children with, then I'll just adopt, and I'm fine with that.
I feel like no matter who I'm with, and if we have the capability to have children or not, I think I'd still adopt.
Okay.
Just because I like that kind of... I like adoption over like kind of the stress of pregnancy and what can come with that. Because it's just like easier. And it's a human who's like... just a person who's like not really fully connected. You don't have that like... I don't know how to explain it. It's not the kind of emotional connection. It's a different sort of like love rather than going through the pain of like and being like, I made this person, I want them to do well in life. Or for me it would be, I want to make sure this person has a good life.
Yeah.
And that they can live to their full potential.
Yeah, I guess it's a different kind of dynamic, and yeah, cool. What you said about like politics as well, like the political side of like not wanting children there. I was thinking maybe wouldn't you want to have kids for that reason? Because like you've got quite strong political views.
You could say that.
Like, you're communist, right?
Yeah.
So wouldn't you want to maybe have children and kind of educate them on the world and kind of... Obviously you're not going to force things onto a child, but influence them into communism.
I do.
And then maybe grow
This is what makes me always
little
think.
communist children.